and I have to share my screen as well. Okay, all of you can see my screen.
Yes.
So I have to start because some of you are already joined. Some are today is the first class. I just complete my introduction. So let's start with what we discussed. So we all are here to learn Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So for that, I am opening a notepad. Okay, like using an editor in the Linux operating system. I'm just opening one notepad. So we just covered that we have to learn here Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 8. Okay. So now what exactly the operating system we discussed? So operating system is nothing but what? It is an open source software. Open source software. So what exactly the open source meaning is? Open source means where the source code is freely available. Anyone can customize the code, anyone can use the code, anyone can distribute the code. So as a end user, when I am using this software, the code is open. Okay. So I can use the software if I am not aware of any scripting language, I am not a technical. Okay. So I just simply download this software and use it. I am using the command and start learning. Okay. If someone know that I want to build my custom command, I want to write my script. Okay. They can change it. They can modify it. They can create the custom command. That is the meaning of the open source software, because operating system comes in different flavors. You can know Windows operating system. You can know Unix operating system, Sun Solaris, IBM AIX. Okay. So various flavors of operating systems are there, but that is nothing but the closed software, or you can say the proprietary, means who are the vendors providing the software. They only know what is the code written behind it, and the customers have to follow, the end users have to follow that one and use that one. But Linux is nothing but the open source software. Okay, open source operating system. Okay, okay, using that anyone can use that software, anyone can modify it, anyone can redistribute it. Nobody is the owner of the software. Next we discussed what? So how, which version of the Red Hat we are learning? We are learning the Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. So how the Linux is comes into the market? Anyone remember who is the engineer? Linus
Linus
Torvald.
Todd one.
Okay, in the year 1991, he just make this open source software. Okay, the project is nothing but the free software project that anybody can use, developed by the Richard M. Stallman in the organization called what? Free Software Foundation. He just developed one project. That project is nothing but what? GNU. Okay, GNU project. So GNU is a free software project. Okay, it is not that generally not Unix people are saying. So this is very wrong statement. So GNU project and the core component of the operating system. What is the core component of the operating system? That is nothing but what? Kernel. Okay, so the heart of the operating system is nothing but what? Kernel. So Linus Torvald, one engineer who just used the project that is developed in the Free Software Foundation by Richard M. Stallman. The project name is GNU project with the kernel. As the engineer is developed Linus Torvald, the kernel is what? Linux kernel. Linux, as per his name, the name is what? Linux kernel. So we are using the developed software by the engineer Linus Torvald, free software project, GNU project, and the kernel. So kernel is what? Kernel is the core component of the operating system. Why it is called the core component of operating system? Yes, because the kernel
Open source.
is, yes, please. The kernel is managing all the hardware components connected to your system as well as application services. Let's say you can say memory management, IO management, device management, network management, process management. All things are controlled by the kernel. That's why kernel is called the, not only it will manage all the hardware components connected to your system, but also all the application services. That's why operating system is nothing but called what? Kernel. Okay, so that core component of operating system is developed by this engineer, and as per the engineer name, this is nothing but called what? Linux. And what exactly the Red Hat Enterprise is? So Red Hat is developed two project. One is called the commercial project, one is called the non-commercial project. That non-commercial project developed by Red Hat is called what? Fedora. And the commercial project is what? Enterprise Linux. Suppose in school, college, students are learning the Linux course. In their course curriculum, in their syllabus, they have to learn the Linux. So if anything is, they have to install the Fedora operating system, because for that there is no technical support. That is in their course curriculum, in their syllabus, they have to complete the course. They have to learn the basic stuff. What is user? How I have to create a directory? How to check the system date and time? What is process? So for that they are not servicing to the end user, they are learning for their syllabus. Okay, in that case they no need to take the subscription, they no need to take the license, because there is no professional support is required to take the commercial product. So in that case they have to use the Fedora operating system. So if you are working in an organization, any public sector or private sector, so if any kernel panic error happen, if any certificate is renewal, some RHEL 8 version, suppose it is released 8.4. I have to go for the 8.4. So if any upgradation or patching is required, okay, because my end user need that my application is up and running, there is no error at all. Okay, 24 into 7, I have to up and run my operating system. For that they have to use the commercial product of the Red Hat, that is nothing but what? Enterprise Linux. And which Enterprise Linux we are now? 8. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8. It is launched on the year, anyone remember? 2019. So in the
19. Yes.
2003, the RHEL 3 version, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 3, okay, is launched on the year 2003. Then 2005 RHEL 4 version is coming, 2007 RHEL 5 version is coming, 2010 RHEL 6 version is coming, then 2014 RHEL 7, and 2019 RHEL 8 is coming. So when a new version is releasing, the new stuff, the new support, as per the market, as per the customers need, okay, people are demanding that containerized solution, people are demanding that cloud supportive solution, people are demanding the automation. Looking into that, this course is designed and it is launched on the year of 2019. You are going to appear or learning the enterprise Linux version of the course and the certification, because this is a commercial product and our organization take the license from the Red Hat itself. So you have to read under the Prodevance or cost technology, but you are getting certified under the Red Hat. You are registered under the Red Hat. You are getting the Red Hat certificate. Red Hat, who is the certificate authority, they have to sign the certificate, do your validation. You are getting the Red Hat RHNID credential, your certificate on your respective mail ID. Okay, so we are as a part of the Red Hat training delivery person, we are taking their license, deliver the training, make you ready, get certified, make your concept clear. Even if you are not targeting the certification, also you can sit in the interview, you can work in your current organization, you can change your profile. So this is a commercial product and Fedora is a non-commercial product. Means this commercial product in the sense it is a tested software. It is a tested software, means the bugs are already fixed. If any error is coming, that is called the said error or the known error. Any admin can easily troubleshoot, and professional support is there. If my system any kernel panic error occurred, I don't call any hardware guy to come with your tester and screwdriver and check my Dell machine or my Lenovo machine why it is not working. I have to take the support from where? From the Red Hat itself. This is the professional support is there. If any kernel panic, any certification, any new version is released, any new software need to be updated, we have to take the support from the Red Hat Enterprise. So now next we discussed what are the features of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So what are the features? Is it only open source software I have to learn this course? I can learn any scripting language or any programming language. Java is there in the market. ASP.NET is a open source of. I have to learn that one. So why I have to learn this admin course? Is it only the open source? So I just highlighted stop some point that what are the other driving factors of the Red Hat Enterprise Linux? It is nothing but a stable and trusted platform. Next we discussed what? It is having giving you flexibility. Okay, flexibility in sense it is not only run in your Windows operating system. Okay, it is the base operating system for any fundamental course you learn. If you want to join for the cloud after this AWS course, or you have to join for the Kubernetes course or OpenShift course, or you are joining any automation course like Ansible, Puppet, Safe. Okay, or you are learning any storage admin course. So for that, the prerequisite is what? You must know what is Red Hat Enterprise Linux System Administrator RHCSA course. So next we have discussed what? The third point, it's security. How the enterprise Linux give the security to the user level with the password, how it will secure the files and directory with the help of permission. We have to discuss detail in our course curriculum with individual chapter. Next we discussed what is the last feature, that is called the virtualization. Virtualization means, anyone remember what exactly the terminology virtualization I mentioned?
It's like a hypervisor, the middle software that we can have multiple operating systems on one platform.
Exactly. So if we want to run multiple operating system, okay, suppose let's say I have a Windows operating system in my laptop, but I joined to learn the Linux course. So I don't want to uninstall my Windows operating system. On that Windows operating system platform, that is one operating system, I want to run my Linux operating system. I want to run my CentOS operating system. I want to run my Fedora operating system or my SUSE Linux or my Ubuntu. So multiple operating system can I run on top of the Windows operating system platform? Yes. So how I can run? So for that, what is required? One VMware is required, one Oracle VirtualBox is required. Similarly, on top of Linux operating system also, it provides the virtualization concept to run the multiple operating systems simultaneously on top of single operating system. In my Linux operating system, I want to install another operating system. So how that is achieved with the help of VMware? No. In Linux operating system, that software is called what? Hypervisor. Okay, hypervisor, or you can say what? Kernel virtual machine, KVM. Okay, so on top of single operating system, you can run multiple operating systems simultaneously, and the task is isolated from each other. The task is isolated from each other. For example, I am showing you, I am just login. How to log in? I have to start after the architecture discussion. So you can see in my screen how many virtual machines are running, means how many operating system is running in my single operating system. So if I check with the Red Hat virtual machine control status all. So how many operating systems are running? You can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 operating systems are running on this operating system. Foundation 0 is my base operating system. On top of that, I am running 6 operating system. And 6 operating system perform different tasks. Suppose let's say I am going to any of the operating system, let's say server A, and in the server A operating system, I am adding a user. Don't bother about the command. I will get back. Okay. So I'm just adding a user Ali here. I have to identify the user in the machine. So if I go to the another operating system, let's say server B. If I am going to switch to another operating system named as server B, and I am searching for a user Ali. So it is showing no such user, because this is a different operating system. This is a different operating system. You created a user Ali in the server A machine. In the server B machine, there is no such user is exist. So that the meaning of the virtualization means on a single operating system, our single operating system is this. You can run multiple operating systems simultaneously, and the task is isolated from each other. So whatever you are doing in this operating system, it completely isolated from this operating system. So what is the use case? So when you are learning the client server related things, so you don't get separate machine. Sometimes you have to configure the server, sometimes you have to do the client job. How I have to configure a mail server, how the client receive the mail, how he has fetched the mail from the inbox, how he delete the mail. So that is client related task. So I don't give you 5 machine, I have to give you single operating system. On top of that, I am running different operating system, multiple operating system, where you can configure the server task, other machine you configure the client task. So on a single machine, you have to perform all the tasks and learn this is one use case. So virtualization meaning what? Running multiple operating systems simultaneously, and the task is completely isolated from each other. Last but not the least, what feature we discussed? Internet Protocol version 6. Okay, Internet Protocol version 6 up to Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6. It is Internet Protocol version 4. It is used for the network communication. But your lot of MNCs, you can say, in the government sector, like your LIC, you can say, or your Geo mobile phone, you are using behind that Linux operating system. So when the end users are increases, so a good network traffic, a good, I want to send a packet, my clients no need to wait. So for the proper network communication, RHL 7 onwards, the revised protocol is launched. That is nothing but called Internet Protocol version 6. So yes, IPv4 is there. Also, it is come with what? IPv6. Due to the increased capacity, efficient routing, efficient data flow, and the security network farewell, this is come with the feature that is called Internet Protocol version 6. Okay, so in our networking class, we have to understand what is internet, what is the OSI model, what is TCP IP model, what is IPv4. IPv4 is 32-bit, IPv6 is 128-bit, what is netmask, gateway. Then we have to configure, how to configure a static network. We have to learn in our networking class of our first module of training. So up to this we discussed in our demo session. Okay, any doubt, any query, anyone up to this?
Madam,
No, मैं
uh,
चलेगा.
Tell, tell. Yes.
go ahead, Naresh.
No, no, nothing.
Okay, I do have one doubt. Madam, the operating systems, as you said, like the Fedora is like um, it's not an enterprise one, right? What about the like Debian and Ubuntu? They're all the different flavors of the operating systems, or what, madam?
Yes, they're the different. Like Red Hat is launching Linux is product. Similarly,
Mm,
Debian, SUSE, okay, Ubuntu, okay. So they are a different flavor of the operating system. Okay, so if I learn this Linux course, can I work in the Ubuntu? Yes. If you are whatever the command line utility you are learning in Linux, same utility you can use in the Ubuntu, but the package management, the software management one course is there, how to manage the software, that is different. Operating system to operating system, that is different. Here you have to manage the package. Linux mentioned that you have to Linux or Fedora or CentOS, these all are the Red Hat products. So if you want to manage that one, you just manage with the yum utility or a DNF utility. But when you jump to the Ubuntu, there is the apt get you have to manage. So these are nothing but the names, but the rest of the thing, the concept is the same. And the other operating system, there is no certification program. Okay, so whatever whichever operating system you have to learn, you have to make your certification, that is provided by Red Hat RHCSA exam. Okay, you have to learn here 3 module training as I mentioned. Okay, so it is provided the Red Hat certified system administrator. Okay, in this system administrator you have to complete two course, SA1 and SA2. Okay, so whatever
mm.
you learn, suppose no, I have to go for the 3rd module of training, that is another certification you have to write, system administrator 3. What is SA? System admin course. This is a base course. Okay, basic fundamental. So this all thing whatever you learn in the Red Hat Enterprise Linux, same thing you can do in the Ubuntu operating system. If you are getting in the Ubuntu, in my organization they want that they give me a Ubuntu sandbox in my cloud environment. Okay, so in my AWS cloud they want that build the infrastructure, I'm giving a Ubuntu OS, so no need to worry. That is same way you have to manage like you are learning here. That is a different flavor. Okay.
Okay, so I understand over here is like the concept is one and the same for all the like RHEL, but however, it's just a different type of like same clothes, but it's just a different appearance. That's it, I can say.
Yes, yes. Both means all are the Unix flavored operating system. All are the
Mm,
Unix flavor operating system. Exclude the Windows. Okay, don't comes into
yeah, yeah,
the
Windows is
category
different.
Windows. So rest
Yeah.
Ubuntu, you can say CentOS, you can say Fedora, Debian, SUSE Linux, okay, and Enterprise Linux. These all are the different flavors, Unix flavored operating system. Okay.
Okay.
That's why I
Okay.
just mentioned that. What are the features in Unix? Unix is not open source. Okay. But this
Mhm.
all Linux operating system is an open source operating system software. Clear?
So once we know the concept over here in RHEL8, then we can able to manage and able to work on all the other different operating
Yes.
systems of
Yes.
Unix like
Suppose you
Ubuntu,
can say,
SUSE,
I
or
want to install
AWS.
Ubuntu operating system. Whatever the basic commands you are teaching, I'm practicing on that. You can practice.
Yeah.
You can say that
Okay.
I don't install, I don't have the 8 GB machine to install RHL8. Can I practice with CentOS? You can practice.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So
Okay.
any flavor you
Okay.
have to
Okay.
install and go ahead with your practice purpose. So next we are
Perfect.
going to start what?
Thank you.
Welcome. So now next is what? Architecture. So first we have to understand the architecture. Once we understand the architecture, then only our concept is easy. So in the Linux architecture, the first thing is what? All the hardware components must be connected. Okay. So first thing is what? Hardware components. So what are the hardware components? The physical components of your computer. So what are the physical components of my computer? Yes. What are the
Hard
physical
drive,
components of the?
RAM.
Yes, your hard drive, your keyboard, you are connecting with the mouse. So it will check that when you power on the machine, it will check all the peripheral devices, all the hardware components are connected or not. If there is no keyboard, it is showing a message keyboard not found. Okay, so all the hardware components, the physical components of your computer, physical components of your, just ignore my typos, of the computer. Okay, so your, you can say hard drives, ram, keyboard, etc. Next, on top of that, what is the core component of your operating system? Kernel. Okay, so kernel is the core component of the operating system, providing the services between the application and the user interface. Okay, your CPU, memory, other network, IO devices, whatever the hardware components are connected to your system is managed by the kernel, as well as the services. Like you can say, I can do the memory management, memory management, IO management, okay, input output devices that we have to discuss. Okay, process management. These all are one chapter. Process management. Not only it will control all the hardware components connected to your system, but also all these application services are controlled by the kernel. So kernel is nothing but the core component of your operating system. On top of the kernel, what is the next layer? That is called what? Modules. What exactly the module is? So module are the pieces of code. Module are the pieces of code. Okay, module are the pieces of code that can be loaded and uploaded into the kernel on demand. That can be loaded and uploaded as per the kernel demand. As per kernel demand means, suppose now your uh, kernel want to do the whatever the hardware components connected to your system, it will want to manage. So what is the module it needed? So it is needed the device driver module. Device driver module. So at a time it is not demanding I have to do the memory management, process management. So as per the kernel demand, suppose it will manage all the IO devices or hardware connected to your system. So what is the respective module to be loaded on the kernel? That is called the device driver module. So module are the pieces of code that can be loaded and uploaded as per the kernel demand. Okay, this is just one example. Then on top of module, what is that? Cell. Cell is what? Anyone? What is cell? Suppose someone from Hyderabad, someone from Bangalore, someone from Singapore, or I belong to Odisha. So I just start communicating with Odia. Chennai people can start communicating with Tamil. South people can start communicate with Telugu. Okay. So how our communication takes place? Can we understand if I am just communicating with the
With a
Odia
common
language?
language,
No.
like
So
whatever
what we are using here?
understanding.
English.
Mm.
We are using our English language so that everyone in this forum understand. So similarly, system what understand? System understand what? Binary. System not understand, you are typing here English language. It is all you are able to read because the input I am giving with the keyboard English language. But when you are moving to other country, they are giving their system language at the time of installation, they are giving Dutch language. Okay, so whatever you are understand, you choose the language, okay, English. But the system is only understand what? Binary. Machine language, that is called binary, bits, bytes, or this binary language. So who will convert? I am typing in English, machine is understand the machine language, that is the binary language. So who is our translator? Who is our interpreter? That is nothing but called what? Cell. So cell is what? Cell is the interpreter between user and kernel. Okay, so we are the user. We are using this operating system resources. System only understand the machine language. So when I am typing my human readable language, English or Dutch or whatever we said, how the system understand, who will convert to machine language, and machine language, it will give me the output again in the English language. That is nothing but called what? Cell. So cell is the interpreter between the user and kernel. The default cell of any operating system is what? Any Unix or Linux like operating system is called the default cell is what? Bash cell. Okay. The full form is what? Burn again cell. Those people are from MCA, BCA, or BTech in computer science or electronic. They have to know the C programming. They just learn in the basic course in the first semester or second semester. They completed their C, C++. So what is the cell? Anyone remember in the C or C programming? Anyone from that CAC background? Turbo C. Turbo C cell. Similarly, in our Linux operating system, who is the interpreter between user and kernel? The default cell is what? Bash cell. Then on top of the cell, what is the next architecture? User. So what is the user? What is the user? We are the users. So how we define ourselves? User are nothing but what? Anybody log into the system. You have to power on the machine. Anybody log into the system to use the operating system resources is a user. So now I am saying go to the server A operating system. As which user I have to go? Root user, or I have to go with the early user? I have to go with the early user. So anybody log into the system, anybody log into the system to type any command, that is nothing but a user. Now early user, let's say I'm not teaching the command, just understand one terminology. So let's say early user creating a file Linux. So all the file and directory owned by the particular user. So who created this? Ali created this. So remember that user is nothing but anybody log into the system. Why you are login? I want to use the operating system resources. That is called the user. And in your Linux operating system, everything is file and directories. So all the file and directory are owned by a particular user, created by a particular user. On top of user, how I have to type the command, where I have to give the input, how I get my output and error in the terminal. If a user is ready to log into the system, what is next? You are typing who am I, touch some command. So where you are typing? This is nothing but where I am typing, giving some input through my keyboard, getting the output and error. I am not sure everything I have to type correctly. I am typing something, I am getting some error also. So where I have to get the output and the error, that is nothing but called what? Terminal. So what is the default graphical desktop environment of RHEL? The terminal window is genome. The terminal is, if anybody asks, what is the graphical desktop environment for Red Hat Enterprise Linux? Genome terminal. What is the full form of genome terminal? Global Network Object Model Environment. Okay, so we are using the genome terminal. We are using the genome terminal. clear? Hardware components, kernel, modules, cell, user, and the terminal. This is nothing but the entire architecture of your operating system. I'm not saying the Linux operating system, any Unix flavored operating system. Is it clear?
Yes, madam.
Okay. Now let us start. I just close everything. Now user is ready. I have to open a terminal and understand. So now this is my, I just power on the machine and join. I just open here the Chrome browser, and I just in the Chrome browser, I just open my meeting. Now my job is user is ready. I have to open a terminal. So how I have to open a terminal? Now I just minimize this window. This is the when I log in, I do this stuff. Now my job is my operating system is ready. So what I have to do in this operating system? I have to open a terminal. User is ready. System is power on. Means all the peripheral devices are connected. System is boot up. I want to log into the system. So how I have to open a terminal? So the method is go to the kernel. See here in the kernel, Red Hat cap. Click on that. So in the left side panel, you are seeing here all whatever the shortcuts of you want to use any Firefox browser, you want to open a terminal where you want to keep your software basket, any disk remote connection, all the files and folders, then your Google Chrome. If you want to see all the application, see all the application, your calculator, date and time. Slowly we have to touch all this application. Now my first is what? I have to open a terminal. How I have to open? Click on the terminal icon. Click on the terminal icon. Activities, terminal. Okay. No, I don't have my mouse. How I have to click? I don't have the mouse. I want to open a terminal. The shortcut is Alt F2. Alt F2 is the shortcut to open a terminal. What is our terminal? That you need to remember. Genome. Genome terminal. No space. Okay? No space. In the hyphen, no space. Genome hyphen terminal. Enter. Okay, if you don't have the mouse to click in the activities, then you click on the terminal window. The shortcut is what? Alt F2. Is it clear how to open a terminal, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So any doubt, stop me. Any small single doubt, because five members are here, five members having separate background. Your doubt is not matched with other. Okay. You stop me. Hey Mitali, explain me again. I will explain you. Okay. Don't think that I am your trainer or whatever. As a friend, you have to ask me, and if you don't understand. Okay. So now I open the terminal. Once I open the terminal, next how I have to maximize this window? So you can see in RHL 8, there is no maximize button is visible in this the gray color screen. So you click in the top bar so that you can see minimize, maximize, move, resize, all this one. So click on the maximize button. So your screen is maximized. Now the font size of how I have to increase. I will share all these shortcut notes. Okay. No need to bother, no need to write now. So now how I have to increase this font size? Control Shift button plus plus. In your keyboard, Control Shift plus plus to increase the font size. I increase the font size. Then what I am getting here? When I open the terminal, I'm getting a user. Which user? When I power on my machine, which user? A user must be required to log in. So I log in as which user? Kiosk user. Okay. Then what is your system name? Which system you are login? Means my system name, my host name. Which host I am login now? When I open a terminal, I log in as a user, kiosk user. Which machine? My machine name is what? If you want to check the full name, here only you can see the host name. But when you want to check the fully qualified domain name, full name of your system, that is nothing but Foundation Zero Instructor Lab Training example.com. So I am working now in this machine. So what is this tilde symbol? After some time, I am going to tell you what is this tilde symbol. What is this tilde symbol? Anyone is the waiting room? Okay. So the tilde symbol is what? The home directory notation. And what exactly this dollar? Dollar is called the login prompt. I am coming to one point everything. So this foundation zero, first you all have to understand the classroom environment. So in our classroom environment, you are getting the basic operating system, base operating system. The name of the base operating system is nothing but what? Foundation zero. On this foundation zero, multiple operating system are running. Multiple operating system, or you can say virtual machine are running. So we are not giving this foundation zero machine to the student to practice. Why? Because I'm saying student to practice. While you are practicing, you run any command because you don't know which one is the danger command or which one I don't have to run. I have to practice whatever you teach me. I have to do R&D. So that's why this base operating system control we are not giving. Suppose you are accidentally run any command, you are uninstalling this operating system. Then again it will take 45 minutes to reinstall. So very next batch student how they do their practice. So what we are doing here in our classroom setup, we are giving you multiple operating system to your work. Okay. So what are the operating systems we are provisioning? How to check? Red Hat Virtual Machine Control Status All. This command only in the COS machine, not in your local machine. This command will work. This command will not work in your real time. This command RHT BMCTL status all. This command not in your local laptop, not in your exam setup, not in your office account, in your organization. This is only designed for the COS classroom setup. In our classroom, any Red Hat delivery who are delivering the Red Hat training, Red Hat provide this classroom for the student practice. So student can do any of the operating system they can practice. So how to check what are the operating system name? With the RHT BMCTL. So let's say I want to practice on the workstation machine. You can practice any of the operating system, but you cannot practice on the foundation machine. If accidentally any command you type wrong, you are not able to recover. Again, it will take the 1 hour for the reinstallation. So our workstation machine is designed for the graphical user interface. In our classroom environment, workstation give you the graphical user interface. Then what is no? I want to do in the command line. So which operating system I have to practice? You choose. You have to do in server A or server B or server C or server D. These all give you the command line login, command line interface, text user interface. Okay. So these four machine. So your wish. You have to practice on the graphical user interface operating system, or you can practice with the command line. But how I have to go to this workstation machine or server ABCD machine? For that, what is the gateway machine? From this machine to reach this machine, the gateway server. Okay. This is no, none of the operating system is connected to the internet. So which one is the gateway machine? The base 10 machine is nothing but the gateway machine. Gateway means what? I'm not teaching technically what is gateway. I'm because networking chapter I'm not yet started. So from the physical machine, if you want to go from one room to other room, you are using the room door. You are not directly jump from a window or you have to move to the other room. Similarly, from the physical machine to go any of the other operating system, the gateway server is configured in our Western machine. Okay, so any of the operating system you can practice. So how I have to log in? So for that, the user is nothing but root in our classroom. Password is Red Hat. And another user is there, student. Password is what? Student. Okay, student user password is student. But how I have to log in? Now I am in the foundation machine. You are saying that you cannot practice here. If you type any command, you are not giving the admin access. So how I have to go to this machine? So for that, two command I am showing you. One is rht vm view, virtual machine view, only in classroom. Okay, then which machine you have to view? View machine name is workstation. So see, your operating system, workstation operating system is opening. But I mentioned what? This command is not work in your local system, exam system, office system. So how I have to log in to this graphical console? One is RHT view. I just close it. Then go to the activities, show application, education tab. So there is the KVM loaded multiple operating system. Which operating system you have to work? You have to choose. Okay. If you want to work in the command line console, server A. Now, how I have to log in? Root user password is Red Hat. No, my eye is putting more pressure if I work in the command line window. Close it. What is the graphical window? Workstation missing. How I have to log in? Activities, show application, education tab. Then this is the server C, server D, workstation. Click on the workstation. Maximize the window. Then scroll up. Which user you have to log in? Now first step is what? User. I have to log in. I open a terminal, log in as a user. Root user. How you log in as a root user? Not listed. What is the username? Root. Password is what? Red Hat. Password is what? Red Hat. Clear? So user is ready. Now I log in to the operating system, workstation operating system. Okay, as a root user. How I have to open a terminal? Tell me now. I log in as a user. Root user password is Red Hat. How I have to open a terminal?
Command F2.
Alt F2.
Okay, Alt
Then
F2.
what I
Yes.
have to type? Which type of terminal we are using? Enum terminal.
Terminal.
If you are using the shortcut, you have to. Or else, as a beginner, they are giving you the help. How to open a terminal. You have to go to the activities window and open the terminal. Activities, open terminal. Or else shortcut. Clear? How to open a
Yes.
terminal? Classroom environment, all of you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, which user? I am login. First, when I log in, root user. So, how to know which user? Who am I? I'm in root user. Which machine I have to know? Which host I am working right now? Host name. My system name is what? Workstation.lab.example.com. Suppose I am asking which organization you are working. Someone say I am working in the tcs.com. I am working in the infosys.com. I am working in the xyz.com. So which domain we are working? Our classroom domain is what? lab.example.com. I am logging to the machine as root user. And which domain you are working? xyz.com domain. I am working in the lab.example.com domain. In lab.example, multiple machines are there. Server A is there, server B is there, workstation is there, bastion is there. Which host you log in? I am now in the workstation machine. What is the purpose of this workstation machine? It will give me a GUI, graphical user interface login prompt. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, yes. Yes, ma'am.
So now next is what? Tilde symbol. Tilde is nothing but the home directory. Tomorrow class, you are giving a prominent answer what exactly home directory. So how I check my present working directory? PWD. My present working directory is slash root. Okay, I am in the slash root. And what is this hash? Hash is nothing but the admin user login prompt. Admin user. So what is admin user? Suppose I am asking that, hey Ali, can you give me a I have little urgency, can you give me a requirement in your organization? So Ali say, Mitali, no, I don't add you. I am not the HR person. You have to contact to our HR admin panel. So if any recruitment is there, they can hire you. I am not. So our HR and the admin people, they have the control. Similarly, in our operating system, who is the super user? Who is the admin? Who control all the operating system resources? Okay, that is nothing but what? Root user. Any operating system, any Unix flavored operating system, once you install, who is the admin? Admin is the root. It is created by the infrastructure who can manage all the command. But who are we? If I am adding a user, I am adding a user, so it will take me 1 2 days to remember your name. Suppose let's say Hemanand. I am adding a user, let's say Hemanand. How to add a user? After some time, you people know. I am adding a user Hemanand. So if I want to go to the user, switch to the user Hemanand. Okay. And I am saying that add a user. User add a new user Ali. No, you cannot. You are a regular user. Okay, you are a regular user. So remember that who is the admin user, who is controlling all the operating system resources, every command run by the root user. So other user added by this root user is called the normal user. Ram, Hari, Sita, Gita, Mitali, Ali, Hemanand, we all are the normal user added by the root user. So what is the admin user login prompt? Hash. How I know I'm in the admin user account? But the normal user login prompt is what?
All.
Dollar. Okay. So now how to log in, how to add the user, switch user command I will tell. So just for understand. So first is, what is this? Anyone ask? So it is nothing but I am currently in root user. In which system? In the workstation machine. Can you tell me the full name of the machine? Which domain you are working? All the thing, host name or host name hyphen F. It will give me fully qualified domain name. No, no. I want to check which domain you are working. What is your domain? This is my domain. Then what is your current working directory? PWD. I am in the root user home directory. And what is the admin user login prompt? The admin user login prompt is hash. Admin user login prompt is what? Hash. Is it clear?
Yes. Clear.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Thank you. Then which platform I am working? You are giving on the CentOS machine or you are teaching us in the enterprise Linux, or which operating system I am learning. How I know the platform? The command is uname. I am working in the Linux platform. So I want all the information. You are giving us the enterprise version of the Linux, or you are just learning any version of Linux, which version of training I'm taking, okay? Which architecture it is supporting. You are mentioning in the demo that it is we are using the Linux kernel, free software project GNU. So to know all the information, you have to use uname hyphen a. Uname hyphen a. So you are working on Linux platform. Which system you are working? Workstation.lab.example.com. What is your kernel release? Enterprise Linux 8.4. What architecture it is supporting? 64-bit architecture. When this Linux operating system comes into the market? Sunday, April 28, 2019. And what type of kernel you are using? The free software project. Don't listen the story. Command execute and answer them. The project is GNU, the free software project, and Linus Torvald kernel is Linux kernel. So to get all the system information, the command is what? To print all the system information you name. If you are just typing your name, it is just showing you the which platform. But when you want to use all, but how I have to only I want to check the kernel release. If I want to check only the system information. So if you have to remember this option, then can you imagine after 25 days how many command you have to remember? So it is you people are just human being. You are not the robot. If anyone asks how to check the kernel release, you name hyphen R. Today you remember. Tomorrow you don't. So for that, if you have any command doubt, suppose I am just checking the system date and time. What is the command? Today I am saying that date is the command. So you can practice in the Ubuntu machine, Fedora machine, CentOS machine date. Date is the command to check the system date and time. But I am saying that if I am using date plus percentile A, it is showing you only the day in full form. If I am using B, it will show you the month. If I am using the, suppose let's say I am using Y, it is showing the year. If I am using capital Y, it is showing me the full year. So are you able to remember all these options? Is it easy? If one
No.
command I am showing you this many options. Date command, okay. If anyone asks what is the how to check the system date and time, how I know the print out the system information, uname. But if I am telling that uname having 10 options and date command is using 20 options, as a human being you are not able to remember. Not you, not me. I am typing the command, seeing the output and telling when you type A you are getting this. So if you have any command you have doubt, because we are human being, we are not robot to remember everything. So for that, in general case, if you don't understand any terminology, so what you are doing, you have to start Google it. And for the Google, you must require what? Internet connection. You have your mobile data, or you have to go to the Google, read the Wikipedia, Stack Overflow, whatever the pages are coming to understand that one. For that, internet connection is required. Suppose now I am just saying you who are my command, uname command, host name command, date command, and my system is not connected to the internet. Ping, if I am just using the Google IP, you can see my system is not connected to the internet. So how I have to, I am not able to remember all this command. So in Linux operating system, there is a command called man. Offline help page. Offline help or documentation command is called manual. I don't know what is a date. This is my past class. So no need to worry. Just type mandate. If Mitali is there, Mitali is not there. No dependency. I have to check fast. Mandate. What exactly this date command? Okay. Print the system date and time. So how it will just executed, any description you can see. What are the option it is using? You can see. No need to remember. If I am using small a, it is just showing sun, weekday in the small abbreviation. If I want to full name, capital A. So no need to remember anything, not required any internet connection. You are every command. Suppose let's say I just q quit from the manual page. You can see below, press H for help or Q for quit. I'm quitting. Man, uname. So you are saying uname is the system information. I want to check what exactly GNU software, what exactly kernel release, man, uname. So the offline documentation command is man. Man means manual instruction page. Print the system information. Okay, you type A. Hyphen A means it will print all the information in the following order. So what is the order? Kernel name, node name, which machine you are, kernel release, what version, what is the machine you are login, what is the processor, okay, what is the hardware platform, which operating system you are using, all the thing. Clear? So Q from quit. Any command, whatever the command I type right away. Who am I? Print the effective user ID. Which user right now you are. So any command there is what? Offline help page is nothing but man. But some students are saying, I don't read. I don't have time to read all the documentation. I know date command is showing the system date and time, but I forget the option. So can you show me all the option? Yes. So how you check all the option? Hyphen help. Hyphen help. So help will not give you all the documentation. Only the option. Only the option. Clear? Okay. Suppose now I have to use the uname. Just to show me. Uname is the command to check the print the system information. Uname hyphen help. Only the option use in the uname command. Is it clear?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
All of you? May I proceed to the next? Okay. So now next is what? So there is no need to remember. No need to remember. Always use the manual page because lot of commands are there. You can say, if you can ask in Linux, people are creating the custom command. I will help you out how to create the custom command. Can I create my own command? When I type, only one command is executed. Yes, you can. So it's not required to remember. You have to just go through the manual pages. You have to check all the option because one command having 20 option, 30 options. Okay. So this is nothing but to check all the option used in a command. Hyphen help. Next is what? How to add a user. So the command is user add. Okay. User add Davis. I am adding a user. How to add a user? The command is user add. Then how to identify the user? In your organization, one Davis user working in the system admin team, one Davis user in the HR team, with the same name, one user in the network team. But I want the system admin user. So how we are identifying the user?
Maybe with their surname as well, ma'am.
No, might be Davis having the surname also same. Is it same?
Okay. No.
Individual employee having a unique identification, employee ID. Might be name same, might be surname also same. In my organization, let's say XYG Sarma, another department also XYG Sarma, but the employee ID is unique. Okay, so how to identify the user? The command is what? ID. The command is what? ID. Okay, so the Davis user ID is 1003. How I have to go to this user account? I'm adding the user. I identify the user with the ID. So I am not discussing what is user ID. User ID is the unique ID. I'm not discussing group ID because user group management chapter, I will explain you all the output. But now we understand the first day of class, first fundamental command, how to identify the user with the ID. Now I want to switch to the Davis user account. How I have to switch? The command is, currently I am in which user? Root user. Current user name is what? Root. How I have to switch to the Davis user account? Switch user. Hyphen. User name is what? Davis. Okay. Now what is this? What is this? Current user. Currently I am in which user? Davis
Davis.
user. On which machine? Workstation machine. What is this tilde symbol? Home directory. What is the
Yeah.
home directory? My present working directory is I am in the Davis user home directory. And what is the normal user login prompt? The normal user login prompt is what? Dollar. Admin user login prompt is hash. Admin user login prompt is hash. How to switch to the user account? Switch user. Switch user is the command. Switch user hyphen username. So now Davis user switch to the student user. So just 1 minute. Anyone is joining? Okay. Tell me now. I am currently in the Davis user. I want to switch to the student user. How I have to switch? Tell me the command. Try.
SU.
Yes.
SU
Switch tilde. I mean hyphen.
hyphen
Uh,
username. Which user you
Username.
want to switch? Student. Can
Student.
Davis user switch to the student user? Suppose I am saying I want to log in to the, suppose let's say I want to log in Ali's laptop. Can I log in directly?
No. Once I
But
need to have a permission,
why?
right?
I need the
Because
password. You are
permission.
protecting your
Yeah.
laptop with the password. If I don't know
Mm-hmm.
your password, can I log in? If you are
No.
telling Mitali troubleshoot in my machine, so you are giving me the remote connection fast. Second thing, I am telling Ali, can you just unlock your password or you have to give me the password, I have to log in. Similarly, Davis is a normal user. Student is also a normal user. When a normal user switch to other normal user account, what is required?
Password.
Password is must, because it will lose the security. If anyone can switch any user account and create the file, delete that file, they edit their data, so there is no security. So root is the admin. Admin can switch to any user account because all of you created by the root user. So when root is switching to any user account, password is not required. But any normal user switch to other normal user account or root user account, password is must. So what is the password of student user? Anyone remember? What is the password of student user?
Red Hat.
Student.
Root user password is Red Hat. Student user password is student. In our classroom, they created this user. So
Okay.
student. Okay. So now if student user switch to root user account, is it asking password? Yes or no?
No. Should, madam. Because of the security, it should maybe, but I'm not sure.
Definitely. Because anyone cannot log into the admin user account. Remember that root can switch any user account without any password. But any user, any normal user, switch to other normal user account, or any normal user switch to the admin user account. Password is must. What is the password for root in our classroom?
Red Hat.
Red Hat. Clear?
Yes, madam.
But a Davis user, how you have to switch? I don't set any password. Suppose student user switch to the Davis user account. It is required the password or not? Yes. So, but Davis user don't have any password. How I have to set the password? So, how I have to log out? So, the command is log out, or shortcut is Control D. To come out from any user account, Control D. Log out, exit from any user, any switched user account. Any switched user account, how you have to log out? Log out is the command, and the shortcut is what?
Control D.
Control D. Remember, the Control D is the shortcut to log out or exit from switched user account. User account. Now next is what? How I have to give the password. So now I have a user ID of Davis. Now I switch to the student user account. How you switch to the student user account? SU hyphen student. Is it asking password? Is it asking password?
Yes, madam.
Any answer? Check which user is switching.
Root to the student.
Root switch to any user account. Password is not required.
From root
Root
to the
can
student.
switch,
From.
yes. Check which user. So root
Okay, okay,
can
okay.
switch
Oh,
any user account. Password
doesn't make it
is
perfect.
not
Got
required.
it. Thank
Clear? So now if switch user, okay, hyphen, I just use the user is Davis. Password is must. But I don't give
you.
the password to the user. When root is switching to the Davis, fine. Root is switching to the student, fine. Because root not required any password. Root is the admin. Root is the super user. He can do everything. Okay. So
Oh,
now
yeah, but
any user switch to other user account. Password
mm,
is must. But I
must.
don't give the password. So how I have to give the password? So how I have to exit from here? Control C.
Control D.
Control C. Control C to terminate.
Mm,
Okay. So now Control D. Log out. How to give the
okay.
password to the user? The command is passwd. Okay. To give the password to the user, the command is what? Passwd. Then username. Which user password? Davis user.
Davis.
What is the password? Anything you give. I am giving the password is Red Hat 123. Red Hat 123. So why it is coming that the password failed the dictionary check? One warning message. Password is set. Password is updated successfully. But I am getting one warning message. Why?
Mm, lowercase, uppercase. Mm,
Yes. Remember that when you are setting the password, it is just as root user is giving. So when you get out the office laptop, when you join in any organization, they're provisioning a laptop. And once they provisioning the laptop, the first thing they are asking you, reset your password. Yes or no? So you are
Yeah.
resetting your password for your security, because all the employee they are giving a same password. So root is giving Davis user, Hemanand user, Mitali user, Ali user. Same password Red Hat 123. But after that he is asking change the password. So remember that when you are giving the password, it is fails the dictionary check. Means you are I'm just simply using the password Red Hat 123. There is no special character, that is not 8 character length. So now to avoid that one, I don't want, because root is giving, it is taking. But if you want to change your password, you must have to follow the dictionary check. Means you have to give a password like this. Let's say G00GLE at the rate 123. Minimum 8 characters, or you have to mention some special characters like at the rate, some numerical alphanumeric combination. So let's try now how to give the password to the user. SWD, then the username. What is the username? Davis. What is the password? G00GLE at the rate 123. G00GLE at the rate 123. Now you are not seeing any bad password warning message. Is it clear how to set the password to the user?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, madam.
Now
Mm.
all the user, let's say I'm adding a user. Tell me the command, add a user Ali in the system. Tell me.
User add Ali.
Very good.
So,
User add
ma'am, one quick
username.
question.
How to identify the user? What is the command to identify the user?
Who am I?
Who am I is the current user. How to identify the
Switch user
user?
ID,
ID.
ID,
Okay.
employee ID.
Slowly ये होगा first class. Okay. Then how to give the password to the user?
Pass WD.
Pass WD. Now I forget. It is pass WD or password. I forget. Okay. This is my first
Manual.
class. When I type, I just forget it is pass WD or pass WORD. So just use the tab. If you forget also, they're giving you the hints. Just press your tab key. Pass WD command, paste command or what? Okay, I want a pass WD. I'm very lazy to type. Pass, tab completion. Pass WD. What is the pass WD? Which user password you are setting? Ali user. What is the password? Any password you give. Okay, clear?
Yes, madam.
Now switch to the Ali user. How to switch to the user?
SU
Hyphen.
SU
hyphen
Hyphen.
hyphen
hyphen
username.
username
Is it asking password?
from root to the
From
no.
root, I'm switching to Ali user. Naresh, is it
Yes, yes,
asking password?
yes.
From
Anyone
root.
else?
Yes, yes.
No.
Um,
Root can
wait.
switch to
Oh,
any user
yeah, admin,
account,
admin. Sorry,
not
madam.
asking password. Root is created you. Root is setting password for you. Root to any user. It is not asking
My
password.
bad. Sorry.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
clear. First check where
Yes, yes.
you are, which
Yeah, yeah.
user
Okay.
you are switching. Root user never asks the password. But from early user, if you
Yes, it does.
want to switch, if you
It
want
does.
to, I just switch to which user I added sometime before Davis user. Is it
Yes,
asking
it
password?
does. Yes,
Definitely
100%.
yes. What is the password I kept? Google at 123 G00 GLE at the rate 123. Done?
Yes,
Clear?
ma'am.
So
Yes, yes.
all
Yeah.
the user, Ali user password is Google123, Davis user password is Google123, because root is adding the user in their organization, giving the laptop and saying that your password is this, you have to reset. So if you don't reset, Ali user know all the user password is what? Google123. So now how the user change his or her password? Can you change my mobile phone password? Can you change
Yeah,
my
if you're a
mobile
user.
phone
No,
password?
no, 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 no.
You cannot change. Who can change my mobile phone password? I
You
only.
yourself.
Okay. Similarly, your mobile phone password, you are doing a finger lock or whatever pattern you are using. You only unlock, you only reset. You are protecting that unauthorized user cannot see your data, cannot see your mobile, what are the contents are there. That's why you are protecting. So who reset? You only reset. Similarly, all the user password is assigned by the root user. Who can reset the password? So Davis reset the password for Ali? Can Davis user change the password
No,
of Ali user? Not at all.
no.
Not at all. Because Davis can change his password.
His own password
Okay?
is.
Davis, root can give the password. You can change your password. You cannot change my password. So this
Yes.
username only specified by root. He is admin. Okay. So if you want
Mm.
to change it. Change yours. Password. Changing password. Davis can change Davis password. Davis cannot change Ali password or student password or root password. So what is the current password? G00
One,
GLE
two,
at
three.
the rate 123. I'm giving a new password. Done. Password is reset. Now, if Ali is switching and giving G00 GLE Google at 123, it will not work. I changed my password for security. Similarly, Ali can change Ali's password. If Ali want to change Dab's password, no, you cannot. Only Ali can change Ali's password. How a user can change the password? The passwd command. Ali can change Ali's password. So what is the password? G00 GLE at the rate 123. I'm giving the new password with the alphanumeric combination. Clear?
Yes, madam.
How to log out
Mm.
from Ali user account?
Control D.
Control D.
Control D. Yes.
How to clear the screen?
Seal.
Clear.
Clear.
Or the shortcut is Control L. Control L to clear the screen. No need to worry. Your commands are there. Your commands are not deleted. Just screen is clear. If you check the history command, if you run, tomorrow I will discuss the history command. Whatever the command you type, later I want to, after my practice, I want to take a note. You can take a note. Your commands are not deleted. I am just clearing the screen. Is it good? I don't stretch the first day class with more commands. This is the thing. I have to stop here. Again, I will continue tomorrow. Any doubt?
Ma'am, one
Yeah.
doubt.
Tell me. Tell me.
So, does this hyphen symbol denote anything? Because I see while we are adding a user, it's just user add and then the name of the user. But if at all we need to switch to the user, we are mentioning hyphen between. So,
Yes.
and then for help, it's hyphen hyphen help. So what does this hyphen even denote?
This is the syntax. Okay, I'm just telling you, it's a good question. Suppose, let's say, I want to, please all of you go mute or else recorded session you get disturbed only. Okay, so user add, I'm adding a user. How to add a user? So user add. Then you have to give, let's say, Naresh. I'm adding a user. Okay, Then I want to switch to the user, but I'm not using the hyphen. Okay. If you want to not use the hyphen, it will not take you to the home directory. You are thinking I am in the Naresh user. You can thinking I am in the Naresh user. If you check who am I, you can see I am in the Naresh user. But if I want to check the present working directory, you are not in the Naresh user home directory. So as I am not discussing what is the use of home directory, that I am going to discuss in tomorrow or day after tomorrow class, you understand what is the use of the home directory. So if you are just using SU username, it will log in as the user, but you are not performing the thing, because in the home directory you are not login, you are still in the root user. So the syntax say that, syntax means this is the predefined rule. To switch a user, you have to use what? Switch user hyphen username. Then only you are getting inside the Naresh user home directory, not root. This is the syntax, how I have to switch. Suppose from the Naresh user, I want to switch to root. How I have to switch to the root?
SU hyphen root.
SU hyphen. I am not giving any SU hyphen root. This is one thing, SU hyphen root, and you are giving the password is Red Hat. Yes or no? This is one method. Other method you can see SU hyphen. If you give the hyphen, automatically it will understand what? It is root user. See now, you give the root user password is Red Hat. Or if you are working in the Ubuntu machine, people are using, we are not discussing that part. As you are asking what is hyphen, I am telling you sudo hyphen I. What is the password? If you give the, I'm not setting the password for Naresh user. So let me pass it first. How to set the password for the user? Tell me.
Pass WD.
Can Naresh user set the password? No. First, password can set by the root, because root can specify the username. Password for which user? Naresh user. Naresh can change his password. After root is setting, Naresh can change it. But only the username is specified by the root. So I am giving the password Red Hat. Sorry, Red Hat. Now I switch to the Naresh user. How I switch to the root user? Sudo hyphen I redhat. Okay. So now you cannot type sudo hyphen I because you are not the admin user. So there is various approach. Suppose let's say you get confused. So let's say switch to the student user. How to switch to the root user? Tell me the command how to switch to the root user.
SU hyphen.
Su hyphen. Root
Hyphen.
user password is what? Normal user switch to the admin or root user account. It is asking the password. What is the root user password in our classroom?
Red Hat.
Red Hat. So I have to type Red Hat. This is one method. How I have to log out? Control D.
Control
Then
D.
another approach is what? Su hyphen root. Password is Red Hat.
Red Hat.
Okay. So I'm giving a wrong password. Redhat. Okay. This is another method. Another method is what? Sudo hyphen I. What is the student user password? Student. How many method I am saying you? Su hyphen root, sudo hyphen I. In the Ubuntu machine, people are switching from the Ubuntu user to the root user sudo hyphen I. What is sudo? You have to wait for the permission class. So now this hyphen indicates the syntax. If you want to use the hyphen, if you are not using hyphen, just you are giving switch enter. Then you have to give Red Hat. Okay. Then You are switching to the root, but your working directory is what? Still in the student. So this hyphen is the syntax to log in with the user's home directory. Clear? So hyphen is must. But
So
passwd hyphen hyphen help. Suppose I am just using control D here, control D for exit. Now I am using passwd hyphen help. It is saying that no, bad argument. It is unknown option. You cannot use single hyphen. You have to the syntax say what? You either use can I use hyphen h? No. You have to use what? Hyphen hyphen help. That is the syntax. Clear? Is it clear?
yes, so it won't work even if I do user add and then hyphen and then a name.
No,
It will.
never work.
Okay.
User add. So if you are giving user add hyphen, then you have to give RAM. No, they're telling there is no such hyphen option. So for that, how I have to add? I don't know. Man, user add. You are a trainer, you are delivering the training, you know. But how I have to create a new user? User add is the command. How I have to, what is the syntax? Okay, they're giving. See, all the option in the user add command where I'm just telling user add username, but I'm not telling expiry date, inactive period, when the user group, what is the group ID. I just to show you the ID is what? ID of Naresh. You can check the ID, but I'm not telling what is group ID, group information. People are asking me in the previous batch if the root user ID is 0, if the student user ID is 1000, if the Davis user ID or the Naresh Ali, some of the user I added. So all the user ID is what? 1003, 1004, 1005, 1000, 1001 or 1002. So if root user ID is 0, why the student user ID is not 1? Why the Davis user ID is not 2, not 1, 2, 3? Why it is 1001, 1002, 1003 like this? Where are the other user? 1 to 99 user are where? Any answer? Root user ID. If anyone asks what is the admin user ID, you can say 0. Okay. Root user ID is what? 0. Then
Yes.
if you add a user, RAM user or SAM user or whatever, ID is what? 1, 2, 3 like this. So why not it is 1, 2, 3? Why it is 1000 and 1001? Any answer? Where
Um,
are the 999 user? From 1 to 999 users are where? And who said that? Any user ID start from 1000. Up to how many user I have to add? These are the question asked in your interview. Okay. No need to worry. Wait for some time. I will explain you because you don't know the file. Just for your answer. Any normal user ID start from what? 1000 to 60,000. Any user added with the user add command, the ID start from 1000. Up to how many user you can add? 60,000 user. Where are the other user? The other user ID means I know the root user, Naresh user, Ali user, all the regular user. But there are some system user, network user, application user. For that user ID is reserved from 12 to 999. System user 201 to 999. ID is reserved for the system user. System user, for example, you have to configure a web server, Apache user, JBoss user, FTP user, network user. In your organization, they are configuring the LDAP server, Active Directory. So for that, ID is reserved. So this is for an answer, but I have to come into this section in your user group management. I will explain you what is user, what is a group, then what is group ID, what is groups. A user is a member of how many team, that all we have to cover. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. So for today's, I have to stop here. Tomorrow, faster 10-15 minutes, we have to summarize what we discussed today. Then we have to proceed further with the new session. Join using the same meeting link. Thank you. And note down my number so that you can ping me. Okay.
Okay. Just a quick question.